Hello, so today I thought I'd show you how I created this type of paper. It's got quite a shimmer to it because I've used the infusions and metallic glaze mix that I showed you how to create in the last video. But I've combined them with some spray inks which I created, spray stains which I created with Paper Artsy infusions and water, and also a few other little bits and pieces that help with the reactions. Hopefully you might be able to see some of the detail in here. It's very difficult because the shine overshadows some of the detail in the videos quite often. There's several. They're all quite grungy. Maybe if I do that and angle it, you'll be able to see it a bit better. This is a goldy coloured one. Maybe if I angle it a bit. And then one with the what I call the stainless steel metallic look. They were all created in a very similar manner. I've got my brayer. I've got several little brayers. I've got, I won't call them paints because they aren't paints, but they're the mediums that I created using the infusions and the metallic glaze. So I think we'll concentrate on maybe the copper and the black today. I'm getting low on them all because I've used them a lot because I absolutely love them. So I'll pop those away. I might leave the gold out because we might have to resort to the gold if there isn't much of these left. So I'll pop those to one side. I'm going to get out the black spray, well, very dark brown spray ink which I created with Black Knight and Royal Blue infusions, and the Rusty Car one, the one that I created with Rusty Car, and I'll get Green Man out just in case because I might use a bit of Green Man. I've got all sorts of other colours that I've created, but we'll get those out to set off with. I'm going to use a small piece of card basically so it's all in shot, but I've got an A4 sheet of card. Let's just see if I can see what it doesn't say. It's about 160 GSM, maybe 180 GSM, just cheap card. I'll put one piece away for the moment, but I will be using that. This is the third attempt at this video, so I'm just going to put some tissue, fold it into in half, on my workbench. It stops the shine a little bit from the lamp above, but it also catches some of the sprays and things when I start working. Actually, I'll just make it smaller. Sorry. Right. There we are. So I've got a little bit of area here where you can see where I'll brayer off things. So I think I'll start by adding a little bit of gesso. You'll all have seen my bottle of gesso before. It's a ketchup bottle. But it's easy to keep my gesso in, and then I can just get a small amount at a time out if I want. Using my medium-sized brayer, and I've just noticed there must be a little bit of the infusion still left on my brayer because I've got a goldy coloured sheen down the middle. That's fine. They all need a good wash. It's my little mini seam roller brayer, which again I must have some colour from before left on it. must wash them all. But I don't mind that. I don't mind if we've got a little bit of colour. Just pick the rest of the gesso up. So that's a start. We'll now go with, what shall we go with? Rusty car, I think we'll start with. Just randomly. And then the dark one. And then we'll just pop our other sheet of card over the top and press. And that way we'll get a start to another background. So we've got this to start with for a second background. But that's quite a nice base. So let me just turn it over and then it shows up a bit better. Yeah, I like that, but I think I need a bit more. These sprays are from Paper Artsy, and I love them because once you get used to them, if you sort of just press them a little bit, you get bigger splatters. If you go fully, you get a lot finer splatters. And again, this is a good start. So we've got our base. I'm now going to start adding some of the metallic glaze and infusions over the top. So we'll start with, I think, the dark one. So this was Black Night mixed with the infusions, I think, if I remember rightly. With the metallic glaze, rather. I am getting quite short of these. So, as I say, I've used them a lot. These little pots are from The Works, a UK budget craft store, bookstore. Right, so I'm going to pick a bit up on my brayer again. And I'm just going to do the skipping method and just lightly. Go over with our seam roller because that'll pick up more. And hopefully you might be able to see the glitter, the glimmer in there. I think we need a little bit more here, so I'm just going to press this onto the bit that's on my mat. Don't like to waste anything. Yeah, that's picked up a little bit more. I'll just give it a quick blast. Quite nice, but it needs a lot more work yet. So I think we'll do a little bit of the copper that's mixed with the rusty card that's mixed with the metallic glaze. And again, this I'm getting very short of. Straighten this out slightly. Right. And we'll pick it up with our brayer. And again we'll swap between brayers. We'll try our little paper artsy brayer. Oh, that's better. That's picking up a lot more. So there we are. So we've got a nice, like, stainless steel, but also a little bit of copper glimmer as well. I'm just going to wipe that up. And don't forget, you can keep these baby wipes and do interesting things with them later. You can see that it's all on my brayer still, so I will wash these and then I don't risk transferring it when I don't want it. Transferring. Right, so I think we'll add a bit more. Yeah, we're about dry. We're going to add a lot more depth now, so we'll go with a lot more rusty car. But also some of the dark. We'll let it sit for a little minute and sink in where it wants to. Move it around a little. Where the dark mixes with the rusty car, we get some lovely dark areas. I'll pop that on the top. This is our spare bit again. And you see, this is usually where I start. I'll start with something like this. Because it's a great base. So you see, we've got a lot more depth there now. But we've still got the shimmer. We've got all this tissue. This tissue is great. I think we'll go rusty car again. It's about building up the layers and adding depth. So we'll give that a bit of a dry. And if you've got areas like this, I don't want that line, just get a sponge and dab it out. You can just dab and it will just, it'll take some of the spray stain off, but it will soften it as well. I never worry about my papers curling because I'm probably going to sit them underneath something heavy to straighten them out later anyway. So that's looking quite nice. I think we need more depth, so we'll go back with the black again. This seems a bit repetitive, but it's all about building the layers up. Now that's looking really quite nice, but I want some more detail and a little bit more interest in some areas. So I'm going to do what I usually do. Because it isn't quite dry, it's curling. Let's just blast it from the back. That's it. That's a little bit better. And some people might be happy with it as it is there. Just turn this over again. But this next tip, I absolutely love doing this. Just find the right brush. No. I want one that's going to drop little bits. We'll try this one. And I'm dipping it into some water. I have a mug on my bench that I put my paintbrushes in when I've used them. And it always has shower gel and water in it. I find that keeps my brushes okay till I get a chance to clean them. I'm just trying to straighten this out. So it's got a fair squirt of shower gel and just plain clean water. And I'm just going to splatter this on here. You can do it with plain water. I find it, when it's got the shower gel in it, it just makes that little bit of difference. It makes it move more. Don't know why, just does. And then I'm going to dry it again. And actually when it's drying it smells gorgeous. If you've got an area that is refusing to dry, you can just take a cotton bud and dab it on. Just be aware it will bring some of the ink up. Because you've got the gesso underneath, the gesso acts as a resist. So it makes it so that the inks still move. They move around on top of the gesso. So, just trying to get it straightened out. Yeah, I quite like that. I might add a few more splatters here, but hopefully you might be able to see it's got a nice shimmer, almost like metal underneath, but it's also got all this nice dark and rusty colours. Now if I was using this just as it is, let's just see if I can find it, on a page or on a substrate, I would go in with some black ink. Now I tend to use archival because that's what I've got on my desk. You could use stays on, which would probably be better because it would dry quicker. But my stays on is very dry. I need to get a new one. But if you just ink the edges, it frames the piece and it grunges it up as well. Makes it even better. Let me just get rid of that. So you see it's got a frame. And I'm just going to stand up and see if I can see the details on my camera. If I tilt it like that, hopefully you should be able to see the details past the shimmer. Ah, that's it, that's better. You can see the shimmer, but you can also see all the detail of the sprays and the water splatters. Particularly like these here. So depending on which angle you see it from, it looks really super grungy looking at it from where I am. But then when I tilt it, it's got the shimmer of the metallics as well. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So that will be the background for a journal page. I'll probably pop it into one of my journals that's A5 size and then just work on it. But you can add stamping on the top. That looks fab. Let's see if I've just got a stamp handy. That would look... This is quite a nice one because it's very, very subtle. It's this one from the Seth Apter set, ESA 35. And it's very subtle, but it's really nice. It gives the impression of words, which it is, but it's just very small. But you can sort of add it to just randomly add extra texture. So, you see. Yeah, that's really, really nice. It's very subtle, but it's lovely. Just in the background, just for interest. So, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you give it a go. I would love to see what anybody does, what results you get.